welcome to the Keystone Experience. Rob Warwick
and Matt Pitzer.
Brought to you by Creek Archery. Find your passion and hunt it down.
And Hillview Motors, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Remember, Hillview has it in Greensburg, Pennsylvania.
What's going on, everybody? Hey, we got a special guest with us tonight, Mr. Darren Snow. He works with a charity called Raised at Full Draw. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, guys. Good to meet you in person here on cyberspace, and it's the good end of a long week at work, and looking forward to the weekend.
Yeah, there's a bunch of good stuff going on this weekend. There's a bunch of stuff up in central PA, so I'll probably be taking a road trip tomorrow morning.
Nice. Sounds good.
So
I have some training tomorrow. I'm also an NRA instructor, so doing some training with a group of people tomorrow. So it'll be a full weekend.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's real cool. What all is that going to entail, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, sure. Tomorrow is the second class of personal protection outside the home class. It's 2 Saturdays. This is the second Saturday.
Well, that's cool. That sounds like a good day.
Yeah, we teach everything from your proper pistol handling. NRA has a progression of training that they go through, but this being one of the more advanced classes, you're learning to draw from concealment and fire. So it's a really good time with the we don't call them students because at this time they're shooters. They're good qualified people.
Yeah, we might have to have him back on just to talk about the NRA.
Yeah, we can make a whole bunch of people mad then.
I think after we get off of here, we're going to line that up to have him back on about the NRA.
Yeah. I'll bring a couple of my co-instructors.
Cool. That'll work.
Yeah.
Because I'd like that. That'd be fun.
You know, I mean, maybe it's just me being ignorant, but honestly, I never knew. I mean, I know the NRA does so many things. I guess I just forget that they actually would do something like that, have these classes.
Yeah, it's, they started out back a number of years ago with things like home firearm safety, just get people familiar with their firearms and, be able to handle them in a safe manner. And then the first iteration is your basics of pistol shooting. So that entails, learning, everything about your pistol, but also proper grip, proper stance, the different kinds of stance, how to operate a firearm safely, how to safely store it, clean it, all of those things. Then you advance on to the next step, which is personal protection in the home. And that covers a lot of how to set your house up to be safe, setting up your own personal safe room, making sure that you don't have bushes in front of your windows and stuff like that. Some things that, people can pop out of, when you're trying to walk through your front door and, there was some concealment there that was able to conceal a perpetrator, if you will. And then the following one after that is personal protection outside the home. And that gets into firing from concealment. So being able to properly sit and safely draw and fire your firearm. And then the final step would be the defensive pistol course.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. We're definitely going to have to line something up with you to come back and talk about that.
Yeah, for sure.
We got something else we want to talk about tonight. We got to get back on track here because before we know it, it'd be 45 minutes later. We're still going to be talking about the NRA self-defense classes.
Yeah. So what is Raised at Full Draw?
Raised at Full Draw is a nonprofit organization. We're based out of Winterset, Iowa, and our mission is to raise the next generation of archery hunters. I know you guys are big archery hunters, and it's to raise the next generation of archery hunters. The whole premise behind it is to teach everything from survival to safe, setting of tree stands to proper bow technique. And then, the whole ethical aspect of it is, shot placement. So we teach sitting from a blind shooting, standing shooting, and we also teach elevated shooting. So as you guys know, since you're experienced archers, point of impact is a lot different if you're sitting or standing than it is when you're, 20 feet in a tree.
Right.
Yeah, that was
So
a
we
lesson
teach other
I
things like
unfortunately learned the hard way when I first started archery hunting. But you're right, and that's a great thing to do for kids, to get them to learn and understand that when it's on a target and not an animal. I thought front
yeah.
shoulder, right behind there, I'm good to go. Nope, 20 foot in the air, that's not the shot you want to take.
Yeah, it's all about point of entry and point of exit. Point of exit being probably even as keen or more keen than the point of entry.
Yeah.
I think if you've been bow hunting long enough, we've all had the experience of blood trails that don't seem to end.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and it's unfortunate. I mean, it does happen to everybody,
Yep.
I try to tell everybody the longer you bow hunt, it is going to happen to you. It's going to happen.
I think there's a certain level of adrenaline that occurs when you're bow hunting versus, you're looking at an animal at, anywhere between, say, 35 yards and in. Yeah. When you are rifle hunting, it can be 35 yards, but typically it's 35 yards and out. So a lot of times your adrenaline and your blood pressure and everything is pumping pretty good. And that's why it's so important to learn and understand the basics, and then practice and get those drilled into you. So when the right moment comes, even with all the adrenaline, the likelihood of failure is mitigated some.
Yep.
Now, how long have you guys been doing this, and where did this idea and concept come from?
The idea and concept came from David and Karen Holder. They are with Raised Hunting. I don't know if you guys seen their show. They had a regular show on, I believe it was Outdoor Channel. It's called Raised Hunting. Now their two boys, Warren and Easton, are doing a lot of the programming now. But it started in 2014. Our first camp was in Iowa in 2014. So it's been going for quite some time, 10 years now. And it expanded from Iowa into other states like Wisconsin, Michigan, the Dakotas, Montana. So it's a pretty common name out in the Midwest, West, which kind of makes it difficult coming east. But the Pennsylvania Game Commission really wanted to grow archery in the state and hunting in the state. And so we've partnered with them. They're doing some advertising for us. And ultimately, we got 3 camps set up now.
Yeah, I just saw that. I'm looking at the website here.
Yeah.
You guys got, what is it, Milroy, PA?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Belton, PA,
That's up.
and Fort Littleton. Yeah,
correct. Yeah. Milroy's the first one. That's up in Mifflin. It's up towards Lewistown.
Okay.
The second one, which is in July, is Felton, and that's East York. It's east of York a little ways, kind of east-northeast. And then the third one is in early August, and that's in Fort Littleton. Some people know it as Burnt Cabins.
I never heard of it.
I hadn't heard of Burnt Cabins either. I knew where Fort Littleton was.
Here, never heard of it. Heard of the other 2 places.
I got you.
But
have you heard of Camp Senequippi? Boy Scout Camp Senequippi. That's Fort Littleton. Yeah.
Okay. I see. They have to go through a registration process to get in
Yes, sir. Yeah, there's
You have to register for each individual one if you want to, whatever one you want to go to.
Yeah, that's correct. If you go to our website, you can choose the camp that you want to go to and register for that camp. The cost of the camp is $250. That's 4 days and 3 nights. We feed the campers, and then we go through 4 days and 3 nights of training.
So what does the training entail?
So the training will start out. We use a, I guess you could call it kind of like it's a module type training. So we set up different locations on the property, and each location trains a different skill. So each of those stops, if you will, along the way, we break the campers up into groups, and so the groups then go through each of these stations. And they gather skills at those stations. It's long enough to keep their attention, and maybe rephrase that: short enough to keep their attention, but long enough for them to learn.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to do a youth field day, and I know exactly what you mean. You make it too long, forget it. Start throwing sticks and rocks at each other and carrying on. And
yeah, it's interesting. Well, they get completely engaged in the training, so there's they are active participants, and we mitigate the risk of being sidetracked, shall we say? Because and the parents that I've talked to, I've done 2 SCI banquets in the last month, and talked to a couple of parents. And when I tell the parents that we take their cell phones for the 4 days, the kids roll their eyes and the parents go, "Ooh, I kind of like that."
Now, how did you get involved with this?
I actually met David and Karen at Great American Outdoor Show back in I think it was 2017 or 18, and they were telling me about it, and I really wanted to get involved. I got a passion for the outdoors, and I got a passion for the next generation of hunters. Hunting is a dying tradition, which is unfortunate because there's so many life lessons that can be learned from being in the outdoors. And in talking with David and Karen, it was very interesting, their passion for this as well. And I told them, hey, if you ever bring anything, east here, let me know. Well, we started talking about it in 2019, 2020, and then, well, the great catastrophe of 2020 hit. But that's a whole nother political subject.
Yes, and one that we're not going to get Rob going on, because I spent all of season 4 trying to keep him focused.
Okay, subject dead. So now, after that,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. After that, then we started having conversations in 22 and early 23, and we started the ball rolling in 23, and really started to gain some momentum. And here's where we are: 3 camps, and we have a fundraising banquet April the 20th. And it's open to the public, but we really need to have people go online to our events page and sign up. We have some tables available for table sponsors. It's going to be a 12-gun raffle. There's also other items that are going to be raffled off. It's certainly not going to be as big as an SCI banquet, but it'll be a good time. It's going to be very, very family oriented.
Sorry, I'm looking at the information as he's talking about it. The banquet. You can go. I mean, it's right there on the website. It's pretty simple for everybody to get to. So, the listeners, if you interested in going to this thing, it's in Bird in the Hand, Pennsylvania. Where are these things coming from?
Well, it's Bird in Hand is located over in Lancaster County. Okay. It's at a event place called Beachdale Farms. It'll be April the 20th, and I believe the start is 4:00.
Okay. Yeah, 4 p.m. to 9 p.m.
You
Yes, sir. Yep.
you don't know where Bird in the Hand is?
No.
Isn't that up by Intercourse?
It sure is.
You start getting out that way, buddy. They've got some really interesting names.
I usually don't go that far. But there's all kinds of good events on here.
Yeah, we have our camp set up out in the Midwest. I believe we have one in Michigan, Iowa, Wisconsin. I forget them all right now. I'm just so focused on the banquet coming up April 20th. Trying to get a lot of people in that venue. That's our big fundraiser. We use a good portion of that money for scholarships. There's always kids that need to be in the outdoors, that want to be in the outdoors, but they may be from a situation that they can't completely afford the $250. And so we do scholarships for individuals that can't afford to pay all or a portion of it.
Well, I got the website pulled up here for them, and I'm showing them right now the Pennsylvania banquet. This is all be able to be found at raisedatfulldraw.com.
Yeah, there's a bunch of good stuff on there. I mean, I don't know. I happened to see it one morning on Facebook, and I reached out and left a message, and the next thing I know, it wasn't 15, 20 minutes, and Darren had contacted me, and we've been talking since then, trying to get this lined up.
Yeah, I really appreciate you guys having me on and, talking about the organization and, the passion for the next generation of hunters and archers.
Yeah, that's our whole thing. I want to see, because we're all getting older. Pretty soon we're not going to be around to do this sport. There's always that last walk in the woods, and we need kids to pick up the archery hunting, the rifle hunting, the rabbit hunting, trapping. These are things that need to be passed on and taught. Get them away from them video games. Get them out in the outdoors.
Yeah, unfortunately, the life lessons that can be learned in the outdoors when we're buried in our electronics are not learned.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, and it's more than, life lessons, because they're in their electronics. I mean, you learn so much, and I think that's what people don't understand. Rob and I were talking, I forget with who, but we said, now there's a lot that you can learn from sports, but we both wish that sometimes they would find a different way to do sports that allowed the weekends to be open to take kids into hunting and fishing. Because I have two boys, they're 11 and 8. We got turkey season coming up. They both want to go and take a turkey, but I guarantee you we will have baseball every Saturday during turkey season. I'm just hoping for some late games and avoid like that 11 o'clock start time.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I actually work with a gentleman who's been a coach for, I think, 40 years. He's quite a great guy. And one of the things that he notes is that a lot of the sports kind of go crazy. You got baseball, you got your spring ball, you got your summer ball, you got your fall ball, and then you got workouts all winter long. And the kids' bodies don't get time to heal. They don't get time to do other things, and be less focused on one thing. And one of the things that he sees is early burnout. Kids get burned out after 4 or 5 years of that.
Oh, I can see that. And it goes back to like the life lessons that you can learn from hunting. My youngest son this year, we were archery hunting. He had the crossbow. He had a nice buck, a nice 8-point came out. he was a little high. He missed it. We saw it on trail camera a couple days later. He just skinned it right over its back, gave it a little haircut. But that was a life lesson. Was he disappointed? Yeah, he was real upset. But that's a life lesson for him to learn that things don't always go your way. What we can do now is we can practice more. We can learn from this, see what we did wrong. What do you think you did wrong? And, we'll go back at it again. And we didn't get anything the rest of the season, but, he's ready to go next year.
Yeah, really, really good points there. Really good points.
Oh, my boy's got an education this year on hunting, in learning. Rob, we've mentioned this on pretty much every podcast since, the season's over. Rob taught both me and my boys this year how to trap. You want to talk about failing? Go trapping.
Yeah.
I have, you do a lot more checking of empty traps than you do traps with something in it. But that's a good life lesson. I think it really made, and Rob, you'll agree, boys put a lot of work into it this year, and it just made it even more exciting when they went and there was something in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But it also taught them responsibility because we had to go check those traps every day, whether it was in the morning or after school.
Yeah, that's again, it's the due diligence and the follow through, the perseverance. There's some things there, with sports to practice and to get good at stuff. But there's only a couple hunting seasons, and trapping seasons, so you get a lot of variety there.
Yeah, I'd like to see like the fall sports kind of back off and leave the kids enjoy this kind of stuff because they need it in life. I mean, you need all that. I mean, when I was younger, going to high school, and they were talking about fall time practice for football, weight training and stuff like that. Guess who didn't show up? Me. I was in a tree stand. I wasn't missing bow hunting to go work out for something. I knew I was not going to become a professional football player. I did it because all my buddies were doing it. Until this day, I don't watch professional football. I just can't do it. I think they're a bunch of overpaid crybabies, but that's my opinion. And, we'll leave it at that. I won't get political about it.
Now, the one thing I love about this idea of what you guys are trying to do is you're doing the overnight camping experience and you're teaching them the right way to go about. So what can they expect to learn, or what can parents expect their kids to learn in a safe environment as opposed to trying to maybe figure it out in the woods, the day of or morning of?
Sure. So, some of the key modules that we teach is the survival. So they'll learn how to make a fire. They will learn how to build a shelter. They'll learn some basic first aid. They'll learn how to splint an arm, splint a leg. So they'll learn some of the something went wrong in the woods, now what do I do skills. And then from there, we go on to things like how to properly set a tree stand, safely set a tree stand. Then, of course, all the bow hunting skills, all the archery skills. So everything from form to anchor points to how to draw the bow properly, so that you're not putting arrows half a mile over the range, doing the high draw type thing, and
or in a ceiling if you're in an indoor facility.
Yeah, that happens too. I've seen that in a few places. So it's really well rounded. And the kids sleep in tents, in sleeping bags. So they're sleeping outdoors. So they're going to learn outdoors people skills, and they're going to learn the archery skills, survival skills, and we get up at 7:00 in the morning. Everybody gets up, gets ready to go, get ready for breakfast. We say a prayer before we eat breakfast. After breakfast, we go over and we raise the flag, do the Pledge of Allegiance. Just your basic, good, core, root American living.
Yes. Yes. That's what we need.
Where do I sign up? This just sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Is there an age limit to this?
17, shave the beard, you might get away with it.
Wow.
He might.
Yeah. You, as an adult who is knowledgeable in the area of archery, both of you guys, we are looking for volunteers, people who can pass that knowledge along. Every camp needs more volunteers. And variety is the spice of life, right? So you're going to get perspectives from, Darren Snow, who's from Virginia. You're going to get, some information from Donnice Peterson, who's out, in Iowa, who runs these camps. You're going to get some from Sean up in Massachusetts, Sean Davis, who's one of our PA leaders that's helping bring this stuff to happen. And you're going to get a Massachusetts perspective. And you guys, I don't know exactly what town you're from, but, perspective of hunting. You guys have the mountain. Like I hear you guys talking about, mountain bucks and swamp bucks and stuff like that on your podcast, which I love. That's a perspective. And the more perspective that we can give these kids, the more knowledge we can lend. I mean, that's really what we're about, is bringing the next generation along and giving them a wide variety of perspectives on this thing that we have a passion for called deer hunting.
Yeah.
Well, to answer your question, we are about 45 minutes southeast of Pittsburgh, and also about 40 minutes away from Morgantown, West Virginia, and about 40 minutes from Maryland. We're kind of down in the bottom corner where we can be in a couple of different states here very shortly.
In a heartbeat. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so the closest camp for you guys would be the Fort Littleton one.
Yeah.
And you said you had an 11-year-old, right?
I do. He just turned 11 about 12 days ago.
12 days ago.
This is still March, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is still March, yeah.
We've been between work and podcasts. I'm lucky I know what day it is. Thank God for phones that give me calendars. Now, you take the phones away from the kids at camp, but I still need my phone or I wouldn't know where I was going throughout the day.
Yeah, all part of that busy lifestyle. Totally get it.
About 2 hours.
It's old.
Yeah.
Now, I saw this on...
Bring a tent and bring a sleeping bag.
We're doing all sorts of tent camping this summer.
Yeah.
We're heading out to the Pennsylvania Trapping Rendezvous in June out in Hughesville, so we're going to go tent camping for that. We might head down to, what is it, Virginia?
Virginia for the Fur Takers of America Rendezvous.
Where's that at, guys?
The one in Virginia, I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it.
Or while Rob's looking that one up here, I wanted to ask a couple questions, and I pulled it up here on your website, so people can kind of read through this as well.
Sure.
But what are some things that the kids are going to need for camp?
As far as what, gear?
Yeah, do they need to bring a bow with them?
We always encourage kids that have a bow that's planning on shooting that bow during hunting season to bring their bow, but it's not a requirement. We have, I believe it's a 30-foot trailer that's completely outfitted with extremely adjustable bows. We set each kid up with their own bow and arrows based on their draw length. As far as what they need to bring, tent, personal hygiene items, sleeping bag, a really good attitude for learning, and open mind for learning, and just some camaraderie to share with other campers that are going to be there.
Well, there you go. Just need a good attitude in the tent.
Yep.
Sleeping bag too. Might get cold without a sleeping bag.
A little chilly.
We recommend toothpaste too.
Well, that's part of being in the outdoor lifestyle. Sometimes, when you're got your arm in a splint because you're going to learn that, and something bad happens, you might not be able to brush your teeth.
So, the Fur Takers of America, the 56th annual rendezvous, it is in Harrisonburg, Virginia.
Okay, yeah, right down 81. Yeah. That's out there in what I call God's country of Virginia. That's their Shenandoah Valley area. It's gorgeous down there, fellas. Yeah,
I'm hoping that we got the right weather to ride the Harleys down there and hang out for the weekend. It's
very cool.
Kind of nice to go to these trapping things because, it's kind of like the modern day mountain man version of it, where these guys would journey to one spot for the year to trade furs and other goods, I kind of think that's another thing, we need to get back to is, just people getting together, more of that stuff, like what you guys are doing, getting them kids together. And, that's, we need a lot more of that in this world today, just not just from the hunting perspective of it either,
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for getting people together and, learning how to read each other's body language and, communicate. So often we communicate on the phone or via text message or whatnot, and you really can't get a read on what the other person is feeling or what they're thinking, by being able to read their body language and their facial expressions. And that was one of my biggest fears back in 2020 when, the whole world shut down is that whole year of, the tender age of kindergarten, first, second, and third grade, where they didn't have interaction and they're so play oriented. So,
yeah. Yep. So there's 3 of these going. Did they learn, you said they learned the first aid. They learn it. This is basically like a beginner's bow hunter's education course is basically what it's like.
It is a bow hunter's education course. We are going to have some bow hunter education trainers there, along with Pennsylvania hunter safety training. The goal is at the end of the 3 nights and 4 days that they receive both certificates.
Well, there you go. Knock it out.
Yeah, the bow hunter education course is pretty intense. I took it a while ago. I took it just in case, I wanted to go to Alaska or Montana or somewhere like that because I wasn't sure if they needed you to have it or not, but that way I have it just in case.
It's a good idea.
Now, you said earlier that the Pennsylvania Game Commission was kind of a part of this coming east. How did that come about, and what is their role throughout this process?
We've been in contact with the education, the head of education. I don't remember her name right now, but Donise Peterson had been in contact with the Game Commission, and they were significant players in us getting a grant to completely outfit a trailer. And when I say outfit a trailer, I'm referring to archery equipment, bows, arrows, rests, sights. The grant money that came from that helped get that trailer finished, outfitted. We do have 3D targets, bag targets, and stuff like that that we had already put in there. But as you know, archery equipment wears out over the course of time, especially if you're conducting multiple camps on a single trailer.
Now, do you guys have equipment to fix your own bows, or do you show the kids any of that while they're there?
I'm not sure how much training we do on the repair of equipment. I know the trailer's outfitted with a couple bow presses and, the ability to, fix knocks, put new inserts in, cut arrows if we needed to, replace fletchings, things of that nature. I'm not aware of that being part of the curriculum.
I have a question here for you, and this is more of a personal question. You seem to enjoy teaching and helping others learn. Who taught you, and what made you want to help teach others? Because I think when people learn and want to know more about the group, it's always best to know people like yourself and why you do what you do. The more you know about you, just makes the organization even better.
Sure. Yeah, it's a really good question. I appreciate you asking. I grew up in a home where hunting wasn't part of our family. Our outdoor activities were, I played outdoors a lot as a kid. Me and my neighbor from, a couple 100 feet away, we would go out and we had, a couple 100 acres back behind our houses, and we would go back there and build forts. And, when it was dark, it was time to come in. So I lived outdoors, love it, love being outdoors, but never was part of hunting. And I took hunter education in the 7th grade from my 7th grade science teacher. Just something I had an interest in, and didn't really do anything with it until I turned 18, simply because, my parents didn't hunt. I didn't really have uncles and aunts that hunted. So when I turned 18, I took some of my birthday money and I went over to a place called Southern Gun World, and I picked up a 12-gauge single shot shotgun, and that was early in the spring, and I made plans to go hunting that fall, and I did not have a clue as to what into a gentleman by the name of Robin Kuhn, and unfortunately he's passed away now, but he taught me woodsmanship. He taught me how to read woods, how to read sign, how to hang a tree stand. So he was my mentor. I just want to pass that on.
Yeah, and Rob's talked about it before. Your grandfather taught you, and it's how you want to keep passing that on. And it's kind of cool how you said you didn't get into it until later, because I'm actually the same way. I didn't start hunting until I was in my 20, 21 area.
Yeah.
Had friends. Fortunately, I had friends that taught me how to do it and continue to learn every day. And that's what got this whole podcast started, was just wanting to do what you're doing, is share the knowledge, get people involved in the outdoors, get them to learn and love this lifestyle.
Absolutely, guys. And like you said, with friends and stuff, I had a good friend, Cliff, growing up, and he and I would go out to his parents' 7 acres of land up in Louisa County, Virginia, and we'd have campfire, and then we'd go and we'd hunt. And I actually took my first deer on that 7 acres of property with that 12-gauge shotgun, and I think I might have been 20 years old or so.
Now, that wouldn't be the deer that's over your left shoulder now, would it?
Oh, no. That one is the one that's over my left shoulder. That's a whole nother story. That's actually a muzzleloader, and that is I want to say 2004. I have another good friend of mine, Todd, who has a farm in Virginia, and Ever since I was in my 20s, he and I have been hanging around since we were, I don't know, 19, 20 years old. And then I didn't start hunting the farm until many years later. His parents weren't really big into hunting. And just because of liability, I don't think they let anybody hunt there. And that's a whole big story there. I remember the day that I shot that deer. It was a combination rut, stand, and stalk, because my muzzle loader did not go off with that deer at 80 yards. I had a night T-bolt and it would not go off. Hammer dropped. I don't know if I didn't clean the pin well enough. I took it all apart, put it back together, but he had taken a doe back into the woods, and I could hear him back there grunting and chasing, and got out of the stand and just started a slow stalk.
Rob, what do you know about muzzleloaders not going off?
A lot. A lot. Flintlocks. I haven't had. Well, yeah, I did have my inline not go off. I did have that not go off because I didn't put a primer on.
I think mine was the case. I didn't clean the pin very well from when I had, shot it earlier in the year.
Yeah, and I do a lot of flintlock hunting, and I killed a buck this year with the inline, which was a goal of mine when I bought that inline, was to shoot a buck in PA with it, because you're allowed to use it during regular rifle season in PA. There's not just a inline season, except like in October sometime, we're allowed to shoot does with it or something like that for a week.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't understand why they just don't put it in with the season after Christmas. I mean, it's a muzzleloader. You got one shot. Who cares how it goes off, whether it's flint or a primer? To me, it doesn't matter.
I do believe that there is an art to flintlock, and I commonly call it, because I'm not very good at it, I call it flinch lock, because when that flint hits that frizzen, or the frizzen hits the flint, or whatever it is, and then there's that a couple millisecond delay, it makes me flinch.
Yeah, I practice with mine, I think, a lot more than most humans practice with their high-powered rifles. I mean, I shoot mine, a lot during the summertime. So I've overcome the flinch part of it, and I've learned from other old-time muzzleloader guys what to do to make my muzzleloader fire just like a high-powered rifle, so that there's not that delay. So it's fun. But then, you're out there on a cold, damp morning, and a little bit of, no matter how much preparation you do, a little bit of moisture gets on that powder, and sure enough, the biggest buck you ever see in your lifetime walks by, and that gun will not go off. So you're better off to just throw it at him.
Does yours have a bayonet on it?
No. The gun I hunt with actually was the gun that my grandfather built.
Oh, wow.
And I've killed a bunch of deer with it. And then I built my own.
Very nice.
I just built back in 2020. I built a 50 caliber flintlock pistol that I have yet to take a deer with. So
I bet that can thump you.
Oh yeah. And you got to be easy too, because when we first built them and went out and shot them, I put 100 grains of powder in it, thinking it was just like the rifle. Well, you're only talking a 8.5 inch barrel with 100 grains of powder in it. Boy, that thing is like a tomahawk coming at your forehead when you pull the trigger.
Yeah, and probably a pretty good sized flamethrower too.
Oh yeah.
What other questions we got over here, buddy? Darren, is there anything else that you want to highlight here for the Raised at Full Draw camps? Did we miss anything?
I wouldn't say you missed anything. I think all your questions were spot on. The thing I want to highlight is the fundraiser that we have coming up on April the 20th. That's a big deal because we use a lot of that money to help offset costs for kids who can't afford to come. Of course, some of it goes towards, expenses associated with arrows that get stuck in trees and, a variety of other things that can happen when you have learning archers. But, the big deal is the fundraising, because that's what sets us up for being able to continue to do these camps in Pennsylvania. This was a big bite for us to take all at once, 3 camps in Pennsylvania. When you look at what we're doing in the Midwest, we have 4 or 5 camps in the Midwest in a variety of different states. There's 3 here in Pennsylvania, 3 in one state. So we're really, really excited. Pennsylvania is a huge archery mecca. And we're really excited to be here. We're excited to teach this next generation. Not all kids can afford to. So that's what's really important about this fundraiser is, bringing people together, putting some money together through raffles and drawings and auctions and stuff like that to be able to put money into a coffer for being able to bring kids in that maybe can't afford to come. So for me, the big deal, especially since we're running, we're right at 5, I think we're 5 weeks and counting until that fundraiser. Really want to get the message out to the masses about the fundraiser and again, get more people signed up. So that's my biggest priority right now. Secondary to that is getting more volunteers for the camps. It was interesting. I was at an SCI banquet and I was talking to a couple, and my husband, he's a good archer and he can really help out. And I said, well, what about you? And she's like, oh, I don't know anything about archery. I said, yeah, but it takes more than just people with archery knowledge to make these camps work. Right. We got to have people that can herd cats too. I think my wife doesn't know a thing about archery, but I'll tell you what, when it comes to getting kids focused, she's probably one of the best. And so we need people of all different backgrounds to volunteer for these camps. Sure, we need people with archery skills, outdoorsman skills, maybe even bow skills, as far as being able to repair bows and stuff like that, and setting up 3D, archery ranges and stuff like that, and people with skills to be able to safely hang tree stands, stuff like that. So all of that is all very, very important to having there we go. Sorry, it disappeared. All that is very important to having a very robust learning experience for the kids. We bring food in. It's going to be catered. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner is all done by people who are Safe Serve qualified, which is a Pennsylvania requirement. So it takes all kinds. You get camp setup, camp tear down, and then the 4 days and 3 nights in between.
Okay. Now, I'm sure it's on your website, but seeing that I got you here kind of right in front of me, if you want to volunteer, what certifications do you need for that?
The Pennsylvania requires you go through the background check system. So you have to get your FBI and your state background check. I'm actually going through that right now myself. I'm actually going through it through the state because I'm getting my hunter education certification to add on to my NRA certifications. Something I've always wanted to do. I just did the NRA stuff first. So you're going to need background checks to work with the kids. And I forgot what the second part of that question was. Maybe there wasn't a second part. I apologize.
That's okay. I forget if there was a second part too. No, I think that was it. I was just curious because, that's the world that we live in now,
Yeah.
where you have to have those certifications. I have to do it for my kids' baseball team. I had to go through and get my background checks done so I could go teach them how to play baseball.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah. The interesting thing is the people that I run into at the SCI banquets are typically involved. Also, they've offered to help on some of these camps. And, I said, well, don't forget, you got to do backgrounds. Like, oh, I coach my daughter's softball team. I already got that. Great. It just makes it so much easier.
Yeah, that's what I did for years, is coach my daughter all the way up until she went to college. So yeah, and I did a couple volunteer deer hunts here with youth that were Devon's Hunt Friends, I believe it's called. But I see you guys got it says a 3D too. Is that for the camp participants?
I'm sorry, you broke up there. A 3 what?
It said there is a 3D shoot.
Yeah, on Sunday morning, after we do breakfast, we'll get together. Now, we'll go out there on the 3D range, and we'll move targets around. The kids will be used to shooting this one at 10 yards, this one at 17 yards, this one at 23 yards. We'll move them around a little bit, and then there'll be a 3D archery shoot, and that's typically followed by awards and prizes afterwards. So it's kind of like a little mini tournament to wrap up the week.
Ah, okay. So I guess our hour is about up here. Do you want to let everybody know how they can help, volunteer, how they can reach you guys? What the websites are and your Facebook and all that stuff?
Yeah, sure. Of course, you can find me on Facebook at Darren Snow. I'm on Facebook, but as far as our website goes, www.raisedatfulldraw.com. Raised at Full Draw is all one word. From there, if you use the menu function, the 3 bars, you can navigate to events. You can navigate to the camps. There's a volunteer. There's a donate section. So the website is very complete. If you want to register for coming to the banquet and get your tickets, I forget the name of the site. It's a sub-site within our site. GiveSmart. It's called GiveSmart. So don't think it's weird when you click on it and it's like, GiveSmart, what's that? It's actually where we process your request to join our banquet. You pay for your tickets there. And that's also where we do our donations. If you want to donate to a camp, or if you want to sponsor a kid to a camp, we have opportunities to sponsor kids to camp. If you know a kid that would like to come to a camp, but you don't think that they can afford, get them to sign up and then sponsor them.
Okay. I see you guys also got a store on the website. I guess we're going to be going and ordering T-shirts and a hoodie here, buddy.
There you go. All that money goes to help pay for the things that we do for kids.
And they got hats, T-shirts, some camouflage pants, a hoodie.
I told you, we got to stop doing these podcasts. They just cost me too much money.
Hey, it's all for a good cause, man. It's all for a good cause.
It is.
Yeah, I guess that's about all we got for now, huh? We'll have to check back in with them after the first one this year and see how everything goes, and we'll keep putting the word out there.
Outstanding.
Yeah,
really.
Go ahead.
Sorry about that. So I really appreciate you guys having me on and allowing me to talk about something I have a really, really big passion for. And that is this, just growing this next generation of hunters.
Hey, I enjoy this stuff, man. I love to see young kids getting involved, And they don't have to be young kids. I mean, young adults, you know. I always say, if you want to learn how to do something, just give me a holler. When we're done with these podcasts, just call me, you know. Find me on Facebook. I'll take you out and show you how to set traps,
There you go.
whatever you want to learn how to do.
Yeah,
Matt, what do you think, buddy?
I wish Raised at Full Draw. I wish Raised at Full Draw was around when I'm going to say 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all would have probably had a lot more success earlier and a lot less headaches.
Absolutely.
Oh, well, Darren, we do appreciate you taking time to join us. We've got a couple of bills to pay, so just hang out with us here for a couple more minutes.
Absolutely. Thanks, fellas.
Crick Archery. Find your passion and hunt it down. Hey, it's that time of year. Get your bow equipment ready. Bow season's going to be right around the corner. Stop down there, get new strings, broadheads, arrows, anything you need for your archery needs. 3D season. Stop down there, see Chris Perna and the crew down there at Creek Archery. Find your passion, then hunt it down.
Hillview Motors, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. New, used, certified, pre-owned. Head in and see any one of the fantastic sales team, and they'll get you all set up with a test ride, get you an appraisal for your trade-in, get you out on the road in your new vehicle before you know it. Service department will help you out with any service-related issues you have. And if you've hit one of these unfortunate critters or anything else that has damaged your vehicle, head back to the Collision Center, certified to work on many makes and models, not just the stuff they sell on the lot. Between the Collision Center and the detail shop, we'll have that vehicle back up, looking brand new, and on the road before you know it. Check out the inventory at hillviewmotors.com, and remember, Hillview has it.
Hey, Duke Traps. They have over 40 different traps available for you guys to purchase. They got all your other trapping needs you need down there, too. Give them a holler. Bill Duke and his crew down there, they'll take care of you down there in Mississippi. Give you some good quality trapping equipment. You want to get a kid trapping? Get yourself a dozen of them Duke dog proofs. Get them out there with some marshmallows. Let the kids start to become a mountain man. Duke Traps, www.duketraps.com.
Buddy, our next partner here is your good buddy,
Dear P. Dave
from Apparition Sense.
Yes, sir. 100% lethal.
We use this stuff year-round. Between the Phantom Hunter spray, body wash, laundry detergent, keeps us scent-free and better off in the woods.
Turkey season's coming up. You need to spray down. Them old skillet-head does will pick you out first thing in the morning and ruin your turkey hunt quicker than you can shake a stick out.
That's right. And then you got deer season. Archery season comes around. Deer P. Dave has got the full lineup from Curiosity all the way to the Inferno.
We are still getting trail camera pictures over mock scrapes that we made last August. Bucks with no antlers are still hitting scrapes. So scrapes work all year round. Get yourself some of the mock scrape equipment from Dave and get them out there. Remember, Apparition Scent, 100% lethal.
Chico Outdoors. Chico Outdoors is a nonprofit organization that promotes outdoor recreational activities such as hunting, fishing, trapping, all for the youth. It's in honor of Andrew Chico Christ. His family set this up for him when he unfortunately passed away. He was an avid outdoorsman who loved encouraging others, especially the younger generation, to get involved in the great outdoors. The annual Outdoor Expo is held each year in April and loves promoting outdoorsmanship year-round. This charity gives back to our local areas, puts fish into some of the local clubs, supports some of the local rifle teams. It's all in honor. It's a great event. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram. Figure everything out that they've got going on. The event gets bigger and better every year. Check them out, Chico Outdoors.
Bow Creek Outdoors. We use our trail cameras, the official trail cameras of the Keystone Excursions. We use our trail cameras, their cellular cameras, the solar panels, the new BC32, the wide angle. They work, the cell cams work on all major providers.
Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile.
And I put one up last August and have not touched a battery in it yet with the new solar panels that they got. So the only thing you got to make sure is the squirrels don't run down a tree and unplug your solar panel. So I've had that happen. So Bow Creek Outdoors, check them out. We have a TKE 20. It'll get you 20% off on trail cameras only. So hit them up, use our discount code.
We talked about riding the Harleys earlier. I got mine from up there at Z&M Harley Davidson here in Greensburg. Go check out the 2024 models, have hit the showroom floor, and the rest of the showroom is packed with used bikes. The front and back, they've got you all set up. While you're up there, pick up your Reason to Ride that donates to another charity in the area. 14 different restaurants you can ride to. You don't ride a motorcycle, still go up and get your Reason to Ride. Go get some good food this summer. Tour the area. Head back to the service center if you've got any service-related needs, performance upgrade. Screaming Eagle stuff will sound real good on your bike.
Yeah, well.
And then head over to the parts department for anything else you need. Check out the website at znmharleydavidson.com.
A Back 40 Seed Company, a Pennsylvania-owned company. The seed is produced and tested here in Pennsylvania. So give Roy a holler. He will help you out. Roy is a great guy. Bill is a great guy. These guys will help you out as much as they can. They'll even come plant stuff for you. All you got to do is tell Roy, hey, I need this planted. He'll schedule it. He'll get you in there because he does this stuff. He takes care of food plots. We have a discount code with them. It is Keystone 10. So give them guys a holler. We also got seed. So if you need seed, just look us up. We got some. You know, not a whole lot left, but we do have some. I don't want to give our stuff away. So Back 40 Seed Company, give them a call. They'll take care of you.
Well, every outdoorsman's got to have a good knife.
Yeah,
A Weeby knife. I would recommend.
exactly.
You know why? They're wicked sharp.
They're not from Boston, dude.
They're still sharp. I don't care what accent you use for them. They're still sharp. Replaceable blades. That's the ticket there. I carry the Monarch every single day. I love using this knife. Worked all hunting season, trapping season, Tala, the fillet knives, flushing knives, the whole thing. The big game processing kit. What a deal.
I just cleaned all my Weeby knives tonight. I got all the muck and stuff off of them from in this shit. So, yeah, give these guys, marking them down there. They got some awesome products. I use the multi-tool every day. It's on my hip. So get yourself some of this stuff. Weeby knives.
.com.
Hey, everybody knows that I take care of my beard way better than I take care of my children. So get yourself some of this Trapline beard oil product. Brian is an awesome guy. He's got awesome products. We got some fancy little keychains here today from Brian. They're awesome. This guy, the scents that he has for his beard oils is unbelievable. They have an acorn scent that is just, I tested it for him during bow season. Never had a deer flinch on me. He's coming out with some stuff called mosquito dope, or skeeter dope. It's supposed to keep mosquitoes away from you during turkey season.
So my favorite so far is the campfire. It is crazy how it smells like a campfire, but not in that bad way. Like you wake up the next day and you can't stand the smell of your clothes.
Right.
No, this is like you're enjoying it over the campfire.
Yep.
It's right under my nose.
Yeah. Yep. I got the rustic wood stuff on right now, and I'll tell you what, I just love everything these guys make. So give them a holler. Trapline Beard Oil Company.
Buddy, sometimes things happen that we can't control.
Yes, sir.
And that's why we have insurance. Make sure you give the Kelton Black Agency a call for your commercial, auto, homeowners, farm, and life insurance needs. We've worked with Kelton before. He will work hard to make sure you have the best coverage possible. So give him a call today for a quote or head over to his Facebook page, Kelton Black, representing American National, and do business with someone who cares.
Hey, you know how I am about deer with a feeding regimen, and you got to give them supplements and minerals.
Yes, you do. In fact, you feed the deer more than you feed yourself anymore.
Exactly. And I want my deer to have protein phosphorus, magnesium, all that good stuff to grow antlers. And there's only one company out there that got proven deer quality minerals. That is Forget Genetics, a Pennsylvania-based company, right in Lebanon County, I believe it is.
Veteran owned.
Veteran owned.
Family owned.
Family run. I mean, the whole family works there. So you're going to get real quality minerals that were tested and proven right here in Pennsylvania. Guys that we know that are in Virginia use them. Guys in West Virginia use them. These are real. They're not your average go into a big box chain and pick up a bag of minerals with a bunch of salt in it. This stuff is healthy for your deer. So Forget Genetics. Give them a holler.
And the last one to wrap this one up here is our good buddy Dan at Outdoor Call Radio app. Download it today on Android and iOS App Store, 24/7, 365 days a year, outdoor-related content. Hunting, fishing, cooking, Bigfoots, aliens, giveaways.
They got some unbelievable giveaways going on. They got a turkey hunt coming up for next year. They got a whitetail hunt coming up for next year from, I don't want to say the name of the outfitter because I'll probably get it wrong. They got actually giving away 2 whitetail hunts. So, and boots, socks, coolers, everything you can think of. Dan has got it. Check them out. The Outdoor Call Radio app. Download it. Listen to it. We're on Wednesdays on a loop with 3 other good podcasts and live studio with Dan, looking for Bigfoot and his mystical creatures. So check them out.
And follow us on Facebook, Instagram. Rob's still got the TikTok rolling for now until turkey season's in. Twitter will get kicked off.
Yep.
Head over to the YouTube channel. We've got video episodes coming out every 2 weeks now on Fridays, 8 a.m. Audio versions can still be found on all major podcast platforms. Check us out at thekeystoneexperience.com, where there's a link to the store if you'd like to get some of our merch. unityprinting.com/TKE. Take us out of here, buddy.
Hey, remember, shoot straight and keep the dirty side down, y'all.